Hello and welcome to all of our webinar participants today. Thank you so much for joining me on your Friday. I hope that everyone has had a fantastic week and that you are getting ready for the weekend. But before you get into it, I want to share a couple of things from my side. So our webinar today is focused on 15 marketing mistakes that you are making or could be making, which you could avoid. So what I'm going to do in this webinar is actually take you through the contents of my book. So last year I published Don't Be a Twat Waffle, which is 15 marketing mistakes that you can avoid. This book is available on Kindle on Amazon. If you're an international listener, you can also order it from Amazon then as well. If you're in South Africa, it's available on Takealot, so you can place an order, add it to your cart to avoid some extra shipping, or go buy it for itself as well or for your team. And if you'd like a signed copy, you're more than welcome to reach out to me through the website, which is dontbeatwatwaffle.co.za. Right, so I think let's jump straight into it. So first and foremost, the number one problem that we see when businesses are looking to get their marketing moving in the right direction for them is they expect their marketing to be a silver bullet solution to their business. They have growth they want to achieve, they have goals they want to achieve, but it's just not quite getting there. And now marketing needs to step in and solve this issue for them. Quite honestly, if I had a silver bullet, I would be selling it to everybody. I think I'd be a millionaire by now. Because what we see again and again with marketing is that there is no silver bullet. There is no one size fits all for every business, as each business is slightly different. Our target markets are different. And one of the big things that we see that drives a big difference here is that businesses who have spent the time focusing on their vision and their mission and clarifying that actually tend to do better in their marketing efforts. Why? Well, basically, it gives you your north point that you're working towards in your business. And because if you share a vision statement which resonates with your target audience, you're going to have a tribe of people who are going to come alongside this business journey of yours and see how you qualified their lives. And your chances of increasing your business become substantially higher. So, your solution for your search for the silver bullet is actually to focus on making sure that your vision and mission statement are in place and that you're using them to assess every opportunity that comes your way while you're marketing your business. The second one, which is very interesting for me, that I feel like it's a conversation that I wish we weren't having all the time, but I understand where it comes from. When we have a business and we've got a lot of things that we've got to do, especially as the business owner, we just want to get our product or service out there. We just want to make sales 100%. But when you ask people, who does your business serve? Anybody who wants our product or service is generally the answer. And the problem with that is when you speak to everybody, you end up speaking to nobody. And we need to spend some time focusing on our target market and making sure that we are connecting with them properly in the digital space. And not just the digital space. Doing this helps you with all of your traditional forms of marketing, networking, if you can think it, this will assist and help. And we want to qualify our target markets as much as we possibly can. The more detail we can go into, the better. So it mustn't just be women between the ages of 25 to 45 who happen to live in the Western Cape of South Africa. We need to know what her habits are, where she likes to shop, where her friends spend time. What does her day look like on an hour-to-hour breakdown? What is she doing in her day? What is she doing each week? What is she doing each month? Because all of this information helps us find the contact points that we need to be able to make sure our brand can be placed in front of these beautiful target markets that we can create for businesses. Not only do we need to know where the contact points are, but we need to understand our target market so we can really highlight their pain points and provide the solution to their issue. A very good example, if you have a financial services company where you're helping people grow their investments, you don't tend to sell the money that you're selling. You sell freedom, more time, more space to do what you would like to do. So it's important that we have that as part of our target market when we are working on our marketing. just something to keep in mind. So the better and more targeted we are, the better results you're going to get through your marketing. Now, just because you've clarified that you talk to all of the Jills in the world, doesn't mean that when Gail comes along that you suddenly say, no, Gail, sorry, we only service Jills. You can't buy here. If Gail wants to buy from you, you will of course go, sure, no problem. How can we help and assist and close the sale? It's important that we don't exclude people either, but when we're talking about our marketing, we need to niche our market as much as possible. We also need to get a really good understanding as to where our person lives and what is that environment that they are living in. I give you a good example. When I was working at Mastermaths at the beginning of my marketing career, we had 156 centers across the country who were assisting learners with maths and science. So we know that in South Africa, we have an education problem, and sometimes some of the subjects are not given the attention that they need to be able to assist most learners to be able to pass or have a good understanding of the content that they're learning. So it should be fairly easy to just sell maths and science tuition across the board, right? It turns out not so much. We had centers that were doing very, very well, and this is the same for any business and any franchise business. But because each geographic area that a center was located in had slightly different landscapes, people, opportunities. The marketing plan for each franchise needed to look slightly differently. So what we did was we looked after the national brand, and that's very important that there is a blanket message as far as a national coverage is concerned for businesses that do service the entire country. But we needed to take into account not just the demographics of the people living in each space, but what was available to us. You know, the tactics that we could use in Claremont needed to be quite different from the tactics used in Sandton, just for an example. And we're sitting with two higher income areas there. So what could the difference possibly be? Well, people in Sandton and people in Claremont have different behaviors when it comes to dealing with information that they're exposed to. They're also used to being exposed to information in different ways. Give you another example. When I pop up to Joburg on business and there's billboard and billboard and billboard and billboard as you're driving down the highways, I sit and I look at every single billboard because we don't have that many billboards in Cape Town. Yeah, we've got a couple, but not as many as there are up in Gauteng. So for me, they're quite impactful. But simply it's because I haven't become blind to them. You know, it's not part of my daily commute. But ask any Joburg business and they'll tell you that billboards are a big part of why their business is doing well. So that does work for Joburg. Do the billboards work in Cape Town as well? I don't think so. You know, we don't often see Cape Town businesses who've said, oh no, I have to have a billboard because this is going to help with my conversions. So that's one example. Street pole ads are another great example if we're looking at pure geographic, traditional marketing. In Cape Town, it's almost near impossible to get a street pole advert placed for a business. But in Joburg, so long as you've got event dates, you can you can place it on street poles after you get sign off from your municipality. So that's just a couple of examples. But if we look at the digital space, even people in different areas behave differently again. So take your Facebook community groups as an example. Here in Somerset West, where I am based and the business is based, we have, I don't know, probably close to 40 different community groups that you can join on Facebook and ask questions, get advice, get referrals, whatever it is that you want and need. Now, just a town over in Stellenbosch, there's like 3 or 4. The Somerset West ones are highly active, highly responsive, and actually work really well as a marketing medium for most businesses. The Stellenbosch ones, it's like putting something out in front of crickets. Nothing happens. It's very quiet. I think in all the years we've been posting into the Stellenbosch groups, there's maybe been one ad that we got mass response on. So you need to know what the landscape is around your business or around where your target market lives that you're trying to target your business into. Because the more you understand it, and I mean all the brick and mortar, the layout, opportunities, options, the better you can leverage that for your business. And every traditional marketing method that there's possibly out there is should be part of your digital marketing campaign as well. So if you have a billboard, why isn't there a picture of it every now and again? Have you spotted us alongside the insert name of road here? Or, well, we've got a street pole campaign. Have you spotted us? There's so many different ways that you can pull your traditional marketing activities into your digital feed to consolidate and to confirm to people that you are here to do business and you mean business and you're not going anywhere. The hunt for leads. Now, this is a big one where we have businesses contact us and they want leads. And to be completely honest, most businesses do not have a leads problem. They have a conversion problem or a tracking problem. So when we start talking about leads, that's absolutely perfect. Any digital marketing agency, traditional agency, or a person you're hiring into your team can get you leads. But before we get there, we also need to make sure that the business is in a space where each of these leads can be received well and that they're well looked after. So, my recommendation here is actually to do a SWOT analysis on your business and figure out what you're really good at, because it might be your marketing. Your marketing might be 100% spot on. You're answering all of the pain points that clients have, you're selling them a solution, but somebody's not following up on the leads coming through from your Facebook page. That's a sales problem. The turnaround time to getting a proposal or a pro forma invoice to somebody just takes too long. That's an admin problem. What about distribution? Are you getting things out by courier fast enough? What about production? We've had a case where, the marketing was fantastic and we flooded them with orders, but we had to shut down the marketing because they couldn't keep up with the demand because they weren't ready for their business to escalate as much as what they'd thought it was. So doing a good SWOT analysis helps solve the problem of losing a high amount of leads. Turning on leads is really not a problem at all, and it can be done fairly easily for most businesses. So you need to make sure that your business is ready to receive the volume of leads that your marketing is going to bring to it. Where are your customers? I love this. This is just a couple of the social media platforms out there. If you have a good look, you'll see that TikTok isn't even visible, and there's a number of others that aren't. There's a whole load of new ones that are coming onto the market which aren't here. And this is the thing. There are so many options. There are so many channels. There are so many different ways that you can connect with your potential clients. So you've got to be smart. And this is again why you need to know your target audience. Because if you know everything you can know about your target audience, you can go and connect with them in the spaces they are already spending time in, rather than convincing them that they have to come and find you on platforms that you think you should be using, but maybe they're just not integrated onto. So finding out where your customers are and where and how you can connect with them on those spaces is going to service you far better than trying to have one of absolutely every platform out there. Many, many businesses don't plan their marketing. And it's not even just their marketing. Having a decent marketing plan, which is actionable and that we're moving towards a goal, a nice, big, scary, hairy goal. That is what we want in business. What is it that you're building first and foremost? Are you creating a cure for cancer? Are you making sure that, untied shoelaces will never happen again? That's one thing. And that is important to know. What is that difference that you're making in the world? Are you building a business that you want to sell? Are you building a business that you want to franchise? Are you building your retirement plan? Are you building a legacy that you're going to hand down to your children or to other stakeholders when you decide to retire? All of these are incredibly important questions because if you don't know what you're focusing on and aiming towards, you are planning to fail and you're making your marketing and business journey far more challenging for yourself than what it has to be. And you need to know what that big scary goal is before you can break down your smallest next step marketing activities. So it's important to spend the time as a business owner, as a CEO, as an MD, focusing on and realizing what is it that we're working towards, and then you plan backwards from there. But without a plan, you cannot expect your business to move forward at all. Websites. Now, this is a pain point, I think, for most business owners, and to be completely honest, most developers. So we don't do websites in-house, and it's because I simply just don't have the patience to run through this process with many, many, many people all the time where we're actively doing the work. What I do is I have service providers who build websites for our clients, and I manage the project alongside the client and the web developer so we can make sure that a quality product which works for the goals that we've set out for our client is being produced. But websites take long. That is that they always take longer than you plan. And why this happens is we find that firstly, business owners don't spend enough time finding the right web developer for them. I've seen cases where people have been hired to do websites, but they are, more technically driven and not visually. And actually, this website needs to be very, very visual for some reason, or the business owner has a specific vision that they need embodied on the website, or personality clashes can happen as well, and just not enough time picking the right person can result in this happening. So step one, find a web developer you get on well with. This is important. Spend some time getting to know them, connect with them a couple of times, ask them all the questions, find out what questions you should be asking them. I'm just saying they're in my book. If you need a guide, they're there. And then plan it. You need to plan out your website and you need to be part of that process. Otherwise, it's going to become disjointed from what you actually needed to do. And that's not on the developer. They just don't necessarily have the direction that they need to have. And then, as a business owner or the person in charge of this project, getting all the information together in one place, in one go, makes the whole project so much easier. So, if you can put the time aside to make sure that the developer has everything they need from you, they're able to do a faster turnaround with less changes, less to and fro, and it will save you so much money in the long run and so much frustration and energy as well. Most websites frustrate the business person who is assisting them. And that's the same for big businesses and small businesses. I've seen it happen across the board. I've seen it happen with international brands where they're pulling their hair out because the website's taking longer, the developer's not listening, whatever those parts of the process might seem. Then also the other thing with websites that I do want to say is sometimes we get married to this idea of what we think our website should look like, and it should just be easy. It should just be cheap to implement all of these things. And I can say that web development is not that clear cut, unfortunately. Sometimes the functionality that seems quick and easy and clean on the front end of a website, which we've become used to because other websites are built that way, actually costs quite a bit of money. And not just in the development side, though that could be one aspect of it. You do pay for time when you're paying for a website, but a plugin or different functionality or custom development that needs to take place to make something function the way you want it to can add to the cost and time for your website. So that's just something to keep in mind. And I do highly recommend not getting too married to a visual idea of your website until it's in progress, because sometimes there are restrictions that we don't know before a project starts. And to make sure that we are conserving as much energy as possible in this process, it's just something we really do need to be aware of to guard for ourselves. Rather take that energy and use it on your next step in your marketing than feeling frustrated, irritated, and annoyed with your website simply because a bit of alignment isn't 100% how you want it to be. So long as it's on brand and well executed and your message is clear and you're telling people how to do business with you, you have a good website. How do we know what's working? I get this question quite a bit. Don't know what's working in my marketing. I'm not sure. How will we know that what you're doing for us is working? These are all beautiful and valid questions. And the answer is testing and measuring. We have to test and measure all aspects of our marketing. There's no switch that we flick on and then it's working 100% from the get go. There's always constant adjusting and testing and measuring. And one of the things you can do for yourself that makes a big difference is track your leads. When a lead comes into your business, ask them where they heard about you. make a note. The more you do that and the more data you collect, the better you can see which of your marketing efforts are working and which maybe would be best if you cut it or change it or look at a different way of approaching it. So, testing and measuring is incredibly important when it comes to your business. I get this question in workshops all the time. The content monster freaks people out. And this is because of social media and this machine, this churning machine that we have to feed all the time. So, when is our content good enough? Social media content creation is not for perfectionists, whereas a high amount of content that we have to create to stay relevant in the space. So, it's important that you can get to a point where you look at your work and you go, you know what, this is 70% there, or it's 80% there, it's on brand, it's clear, it's short, it gets the message across, that video looks great, you know, and then put it out there. Because very soon after putting all that content out there, you're going to have to go back to the drawing board and start on the next range of content. When it comes to social media content, done is better than perfect. And it does help if you can just plan that in your head, give yourself that grace. You're going to achieve more in your marketing for simply getting it out there than expecting it to be 100% perfect. No single social media post can fully, um, showcase your business in all its beautiful glory and problem solving that it does for your clients. A panel of experts. So, businesses need different people to contribute and provide ideas so they can grow. The more people, well, not always the more people, sometimes there are too many chefs in the in the kitchen and all of that, but a good board of people who are involved in a process can really make the difference. The question we need to ask ourselves is, who do we bring into those conversations and what skills are they filling? Because you don't need to have an overlap of all the skills. Sometimes it's good to have sort of two slightly different opinions from different backgrounds to educate us and inform us. But you need a good set of people who have your best interests at heart as far as your business is concerned, and that they aren't just pushing their own agendas. So focus on finding people who resonate with what you're doing. They might be part of your target market as well, which would be good because then they understand what it is that you're doing and solving for the market, and then they can advise well for you. So make sure you choose those experts that you rely on well. Sometimes we find that people's marketing works separately from their business. And it's almost like you've got the business and what's going on inside of that. And then the marketing is like the weird cousin next door. We need to make sure we are marrying your your marketing with your business, because that is how you get results. Coming back to the conversation I was having about, a distribution problem. If there's a distribution problem going on and the marketing department doesn't know about it, they can't help, assist, slow down, damage control, a number of different things. If marketing is getting a whole load of leads and sending it through to sales, but sales isn't getting through to all the phone calls, or they are, but none of the targets are right for them, they need to inform marketing so that marketing can then adjust and assist them to service the kinds of clients that we're looking for when building a business. So make sure that your marketing is in-house and part of all of your structures. I find that marketing is like the glue in your business. Because if marketing is done well and is speaking to your ops department, distribution, production, sales, you also find that it starts creeping in and helping create a business culture. So if you are speaking a certain way, all of your team starts speaking a certain way as well. And that has a bigger impact on your potential customers and clients as well. So make sure it works alongside your business. The search for greener pastures. There must be a better solution. There's always a better option. This isn't working. Let me just go elsewhere. This can relate to being an internal team member, to working with service providers. They're always jumping between different options, different ideas before making sure that what you're currently doing has had long enough to bring you results. Make sure that when you make your decisions around your marketing, that you've always allowed each activity that you've tried a decent amount of time to bring you results before worrying about chopping and changing. This is just a little reminder to be mindful of that your marketing does take time. Any new campaign that you roll out can take between 3 to 6 months before you start seeing good results. So just keep that in mind when you make any new decisions when it comes to your marketing. How can my service provider help me? I've had an interesting situation in this around this question where I had a customer or client of ours sit down and say to me, "Oh no, we've brought in some lead generation experts." And I looked at him, I said to him, "But that's what we're doing for your business, or what trying to do." There was quite a few delays in getting the content up. It's mostly because our client was not in the country very often and often out of range of cell phones and the internet. And we hadn't done some of the basic building blocks. So he was 20 steps ahead of us with wanting leads, but we weren't ready to get there. And his response was, "Oh, I didn't know that," even though we'd had the conversation a good amount of times. So it's important that you know what skills your service provider has. If you're looking for something, before heading off and going and looking at all the different options outside and around you, check in with the people you're already paying money to, because there's a good chance that by adding on an extra service to their offering, or if it's an internal person on your team and you're paying their salary anyway, it's going to be more cost effective for your business, and you already have a relationship with the person who can do it for you. It's also one less relationship to have to manage. So look internal first. What's in your box that you can make use of? And then if you don't have that skill that you need, look for it and get the best person you can. To collaborate or not to collaborate. So collaborations can take form in a number of different ways. It can be new business partnerships, it could be service provider arrangements, it could be referral partners. You need to spend time deciding who it is that you would like to connect with, how you want to connect with them, and how you can benefit each other. Make sure that whoever you bring onto your business, again, this is to conserve your energy, is going to put in the same time and commitment as you can. And with that being said, don't commit to something that you can't service properly. I've been in situations where with collaboration partners where I've been able to be the full-on driver and I'm pushing forward and we're making good progress and the business is doing well. And then I've had other ones that I've committed to, and then I just haven't been able to hold up the commitments because my schedule was too full and too busy already. Be kind to yourself, be kind to the people that you're looking to do business with, because your reputation does matter as well. And anything that you can do to tarnish that by saying that you'll do something and you're not able to deliver is really not a good space to be. And you end up having to repair damage. If the damage isn't there, your energy can be used in better, more productive ways. And then often, as business owners, MDs, financial directors, we can sometimes be so involved in the running of the business where we actually need to be spending time working on the business that we can't even see the wood for the trees. We are so immersed in the smaller tasks that need to happen that we can forget about the bigger picture. This especially happens when we're looking at solopreneurs and small businesses and even medium businesses as well. So just a little reminder, as the person spearheading your business out there in the wild, make sure you're spending 80% of your time working on your business and 20% of your time working in your business. Your 80-20 rule does wonders for you, and it's well worth applying that to your time. What do you do with the rest of the working on your business and servicing your clients and customers? Your team should be looking after your clients and customers. Again, for your solopreneurs, this can be challenging, but start practicing this, because you might have a business where you only want it to be you, but certain automations could make it much easier for you to run the entire enterprise that you're creating. Or if you want to bring on team, you need to be disciplined when you are bringing them on to work on the business so they can do the work in the business. And the best way to do that is to start as you intend to carry on. Right, so those are the 50 marketing mistakes that we see businesses make all of the time, and they are 100% avoidable if you just do a bit of time spent thinking on your business, planning your marketing, and deciding what that big scary dream is that you're working towards. My book, as I said, is available on Amazon as well as on Takealot, but I've also launched a course which I am working with people to figure out all of these steps in their business. So you get a sounding board and all of my experience if you come and join the course. Our next course is going to be starting on the 27th of March. It's 3 days. We're going to be doing 5 hours a day. And by the end of it, you will have an actionable marketing plan that you can walk away with, and either a website audit and things that you should fix for a better website, or if you don't have a website, a blueprint of what you need to get created to start that journey with your potential website developer much more easily. So the course also covers the first section of the book, and I will be releasing a more advanced course dealing with everything from where we start looking at experts and collaborations after we've done the basic course, and only the people who've done the basic course will be invited to join that one. So spaces are limited. Let me know if you're interested in joining. You can always drop me an email. My email address is available on the screen at the moment, as well as our websites if you'd like to come and join us. I've actually just finished a course with somebody who was completely blown away, and I really look forward to walking through that process with so many more people, because it's well worth it. And you're going to be saving yourself so much grief in your business and marketing journey if you just do this with us. Not only are you upskilling yourself or any of your team members you're sending to do this course, but you are also walking away with an actionable plan at the end of the day. And that's it for our webinar today. So thank you so much for your time. Thank you for joining me. And I hope that you learned many, many amazing things and that we will be chatting soon.